Alright guys, hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today is another Arrowverse recap, because I stand here every single time for all of these, but this time it's episode 6, right? Shouldn't be. Yeah, it's episode 6. Yes. Episode 6 is all the episode 6 is. And so, the title of Supergirl's episode, if you don't know what I do here, go check out the first 3 that I did. And they'll explain all of what I do in this series of things. So yeah. Supergirl's episode is called Medavil. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, so the threat for this episode is Sheriff Collins, so they are figuring all this stuff out. So, so this is like a whole past episode about how the past and how they became friends and how they became to love each other and how Alex and Kara became detectives. And so, they go home for this episode, and then when they go home, then that's when this all happens. It's in the high school, or it's the middle school era. So there's this guy called Kenny, and he has this telescope thing that can make him look into the stars, and so he saw a lot of some things that no one else should have seen. But at first he saw this teenage girl going out with this high school guy. And so it makes you think that that's the threat of the whole episode, but it's not. Because Sheriff Collins is giving kids diseases, or is gonna kill people out there, and then gonna bring them back out there. And so, yeah, this whole episode is tells us how they got all this stuff. And also, the telescope is now Kara's at the house, and so then they leave. And the next week's episode, it's just crazy. And so we didn't get anything with Sam, we didn't get anything with Rui and all that. So yeah, just basically the past episode. And Kenny was Alex's tutor. That's why she wanted to do this to get the murderer of Kenny. Kenny also liked Kara, and so that's why she wanted to do it. Yeah, I like Kara to be here. Oh yeah, and throughout the whole this detective person came and they're telling Kara to become a human. And later on she says screw it because Alex is in danger. But the quote of the week comes from young Kara saying, "I'd rather be human than risk losing you." Good quote, am I right? Okay. Next, we have The Flash. And this episode of The Flash is called When Harry Met Harry. So it's kind of like the Council of Rick episode from Rick and Morty, but I've never seen it. So this was kind of cool to see. There was Wolfenstein, there was Wells 2.0, and then there was one that I didn't really get because he was just a total D-bag in them. In this situation, Barry versus Ralph. Ralph is still trying to get this pursuit of being a hero. And so a mugger comes and he says, "Stop shooting him! I didn't shoot him!" And so they're just still fighting. But they're not really because during in the episode, Ralph accidentally hurts a little girl while trying to stop the bad guy. And so he feels guilt. And so then later in the episode he goes to that girl and says, "How are you doing?" And then makes hand puppets with his hand. And so the bad guy of this episode is Black Bison, which Black Bison can make inanimate objects animate objects like a suit of armor or a big ginormous dinosaur skeleton thing or a stone tiger kill people. And so she worries about all of these artifacts. Oh, and also a caveman. She's worried about all artifacts, and she's trying to get all three parts of a necklace so she can bring it back to her culture or whatever. Identities. Okay, so Ralph also calls Barry Rookie too many times, and Barry's like, "Can you stop calling me Rookie?" And then I realized that Ralph is the Rookie superhero, so he doesn't know what to do to not save people. And so when he's fighting the dinosaur, he just wraps himself around the dinosaur mouth, which is cool. Identities. What do I have identities here for? Oh, the thinker and the medic have identities. Not really. Clifford DeVoe and whatever his wife's name is. And so in the next episode it will just be of how the thinker got his powers and stuff. And yeah, I think that's all I have for reminders this week. But here, the quote is from Cisco, and it's a really good one. And he says, "No one's going to like you if you don't like yourself." Let me say that again. No one's gonna like you if you don't like yourself. That's a good one, ain't it? Well, it is. Okay. Next is Legends of Tomorrow, and the episode title is called Helen Hunt. And so the anachronism for this episode was Helen of Troy. So Helen of Troy is this beautiful girl that was on one side, and then Ares stole her from Magnolius, and then the war started, and then all that happened. But then this also happened when it was Warner Bros. So this was in Hollywood. So the time is Hollywood 1937, when Warner Bros. And KNG Pictures. So Warner Bros. Had this one lady and they couldn't find her, and so when Helen of Troy was in there, then all that happened. Okay, and also this is the other side of this is Firestorm people swapped bodies. Oh god, my card fell. Okay. Choices to stop taking down these anachronisms because Damien Dark comes back, and we also figure out that other magic girl from the last episode is his daughter. So to stop these anachronisms and go back to our normal lives, or keep doing these anachronisms and get stopped by Dark and Mullis, or whoever this guy is. So also Dark Agent, and so if you have that agent, and so so Helen wants to go talk to her agent, which is Agent Dark. Warner Bros. VK. Movie of life. So Warner Bros. Was making this movie about Helen's life, and so yeah, that's kind of cool. So eventually the war started, and of Warner Bros. And KNG Studios, or Pictures, or Productions, or whatever. And so when that was going on, when Zari, Sarah, and Vixen were going to save Helen of Troy, they save her perfectly, and then they have to make this one lady go back into the business, and so they get trapped by Dark, and so when Dark is there, Kawasa goes to Vixen and fights her. And then Vixen realizes that she's a granddaughter. And because. And Dark versus Sarah, doing it Legend style, Legend of Assassins. And then Magic v Firestorm. Yeah. And Zari hacked history. So she disappears at this certain time, but she makes it go to this. Okay, so Zari returns her to her time, but then she doesn't put her in the exact same spot because when she disappeared, it didn't affect the war itself, and so she just put her in a different spot, which was Tatooine. Wonder Woman reference there. So yeah. Okay, next we have Arrow, which is the episode is called Promise Kept, and so Ricardo Diaz, aka Dragon, and Jackals were the threat. Diggle starts getting the shakes again. So yeah. Oliver helped him, and so the Jackals. No. Dragon was getting these 3D printers because they were gonna make some drugs, and so that's where he got his drugs from. Was Leonardo Diaz was where Diggle got his drugs from to make his hand stop shaking. And so yeah, he had to go resupply and stuff. And so when they found him, they blew up the whole building. So I don't know. Maybe Oliver will become Archer in episode 7, but I have no idea. I haven't seen the promo. Maybe yes, I did. Never mind. He goes to jail in the next episode. And this is another Slade episode. So the backstories are going to be about Slade keeping his promises. Like Oliver, he did this to me. He stabbed out my eye with an arrow. Now I have to take him to hell. So, yeah. So, there's a lot of promises in this episode. That's why it's called Promise Kept. So it's promise this, promise that. And just some boring stuff. And so Oliver and Slade work together to try to get stuff, and so Slade doesn't want to kill anybody, but then they escape, and then he's like, I have to worry about the mission to get my son, which was Slade. And Oliver says, okay. And then he comes back and hugs the child. But when he comes back, they were playing Injustice 2, which was Captain Cold, I think, or Sub-Zero, I don't know, you guys think. And then it was another character which I did not see. And the quote today was Renee saying, "Ni up to stress eat?" He brought in pizza and stuff. And so all these other ones had deep meaning too. Oh wait, I didn't say the quote from Legends, did I? It's Nay. In our defense, okay, this one's stupid too, but this one is Nate saying, in our defense, she was very, very, very attractive. And then the quote for Arrow is, anyone up to stressy? Yeah, alright. Alright guys, hope you guys liked this episode. If you guys did, please leave a big like down below. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. If you want more content like this. I'm probably going to break my camera, so I'm not going to aim it right at the camera. Oh god, this is going terribly. Peace.